So greetings from Pennsylvania once again, and we're up here in northern Lebanon County, headed to a place known as the Boxcar Rocks. So I've been here before. It's a pretty popular spot if you know where it is. The wheels have been turning in my mind of a new series I want to work on. I think I'm just going to introduce this series today and then work on it in the cooler months. Although today is August 18th. Cold front came through last night, and the temperatures are amazing today. I actually have a long sleeve t-shirt on. It's pretty cool out here. But things have changed since I've been here last time. I just talked with the one ranger as he came through. Let me show you. Yes, down there is Gold Mine Road. That's the road you take to come up here. And of course, this is the parking area, or it used to be the parking area. But when I pulled in, because they still have the gate here, I saw this up here. So I was wondering what's going on. And just like I said, talked to the one game commission dude that was here. This is going to be the new parking lot here. It's just, you know, for hunters and other folks, it's become a more popular area, and there just isn't a whole lot of parking right there. So, not a bad idea. But I think they're going to put in a new gate somewhere up here. So, I think there's some other logging going on up this way too. Yeah, it looks a little bit different up through here. Yeah, see the new posts in the ground for the new gate. Yes, this place is special to me. I mean, just across the road is the ghost town of Gold Mine. That's where that road gets its name from. I have mentioned a couple times in past videos how that abandoned village, you know, finding the ruins of that old railroad bridge and stuff, is kind of what got me started doing this. But I can say same for the Boxcar Rocks. Back in the spring of 2013, when my life was kind of turned upside down and stuff like that, I was looking for things to do, to say least. I've talked about in the past. One of the first places I tried to find, I think maybe the first, was the Boxcar Rocks. I'd heard about it a number of times from other people. I knew it was up this way, but I couldn't find it at first. Because back then, I mean, Google Maps existed back then, but there weren't all those little markers on it telling you where things were as it is today. Eventually I found it, got some directions. We were walking up this way and asked for a little bit of help from two other hikers. They pointed me in the right direction, and wow, I was just amazed. Because they truly are an impressive feature. The number of books I have on things like this mention it's one of the most impressive, like, rock type places here in Pennsylvania. So it does hold a special place in my own heart. Once again, it's one of the places that got me started to explore, because you realize, wow, there's really neat stuff out here to see. That's actually not too far from home either. And they go by other names too. I think back in the day they referred to more as the high rocks because they're high, and they also get labeled as the Chinese Wall sometimes because it almost looks like a rundown version of the Great Wall of China. But then about the 1940s, the name Boxcar Rocks got stuck to the site because it was in the 1940s or slightly earlier that they built this section of Gold Mine Road down there. A local politician, what was his name, Harry Lake or Harvey Lake, one of those two, he described these rocks as a train wreck of boxcars, and the name kind of stuck. So in some spots they do indeed look like a whole bunch of, you know, train cars or boxcars stacked on top of each other, like in a long row. It's a really fascinating place. Yeah, so as you keep walking up this road from the parking lot, you do come to another trail going off to the right. This is new too. I'm not sure if that's a trail or not, but you got a clear trail going off to your right, because it's fun to explore all back that way too, but not today. This will take you to one of the most impressive sites here in Pennsylvania. And then once we get up to the rocks, but you'll see just how impressive they are. I'll talk more about the history of them and kind of what my plans are. Like, I'm hoping to make a series out of this, of exploring this rock formation. Like I said, I'll probably wait a little bit till the weather is much cooler. Because scrambling around these rocks and stuff gets you heated up pretty quickly. Well, not something I really want to do in the summer. Because there are interesting tidbits about these rocks involving the Native Americans and possibility of caves and burials and stuff like that up here. And here we are, just like that, coming up on them. The most impressive feature right here is what often referred to as the whale head. Be in view shortly. It's kind of behind some trees there. Yeah, there it is. There's the whale head. That thing is massive. As I usually do, I'll probably set the camera down and walk up towards her to show you. Yeah. And I should mention too that this is only part of the Boxcar Rocks. They continue that way for about maybe a quarter mile till you get to Gold Mine Road. There's some large sections over there. There's just a kind of a gap right here. We're under rocks. And it extends that way for quite a while, at least another 2.5 miles or so, towards an area called Jeff's Swamp. This is the peopleized version of it, or the peopleized area, where most people come. So it's all kind of clear and exposed from brush and algae, or lichens and different things growing on the rocks. Yeah, this place is amazing. Alright, let's take you guys up there. I think you can see why they call it the whale head. Kind of looks like a whale's head, like right there's the mouth. Sometimes there's a lot of graffiti up here, but it looks like they've cleared a lot of it off. A little bit up there, but it looks better than it has in the past. Man, look at that. Like I said, this is just one section of it. Yeah, there's the whale head. Yeah, so you can see it continue on that way. Oh, quite a huge jumble of rocks that people climb on. It's actually higher on this side. This side drops off a lot further more. A lot of people rock climb on the other side. I might show that a little bit later. It's like 40 feet tall on the other side. This continues for, like I said, another 2.5 miles or so. They're all down this way too. These ones kind of like fell down, I guess you could say. You can see them going off that way. It doesn't look too impressive from this perspective, but they do get big again that way. It's just you just kind of can't see with all the trees at the moment. And as I mentioned earlier, there are a number of different stories and legends about these rocks. A lot of them include stories of the Native Americans, the Indians. Most all agree that these rocks were sacred in some way to the Indians. Some say that underneath the whale head somewhere an Indian chief was buried. Although this wasn't their typical area they would bury people. They'd often bury their dead in not too far from where their villages were, in soil that was easy to dig in. But for someone important like a chief, I could see them bringing them up to a place like this. It'd be awful difficult to bury them, but there's all kinds of nooks and crannies in these rocks. The Indians probably didn't live up here in these rocks. You can't really grow crops up here and stuff like that, but a lot of the hunting parties, they say, would use these rocks for encampments, because there are little nooks and crannies and even some caves. There's stories of them using these rocks for like perches or signal areas to send up their smoke signals and things like that. So I often wondered, you know, what all you could find up here in these rocks. You know what I'm thinking. Yeah, so there's our whale head again. Is there a chief buried underneath these rocks somewhere? You know, it's possible to pass, but this area right here has received a lot of attention from people over the years, so I'm not sure that you would find much in this immediate area, but you never know. what's hidden. But like I said, this continues on for quite a while that way, and most of it remains largely unexplored by the majority of people. It gets a lot more rough that way and overgrown. It'll be all covered. A lot of this area like this will be covered in small brush and thorns and briars and stuff. So it changes, the landscape changes as you go that way. So I have explored that way in the past, pretty far, maybe to about the halfway point, but like I say, it gets pretty rough. It's not something I really want to do in the summer months due to it's hard to see with the foliage, and there's other snakes and stuff that make it a little more difficult to explore. Dangerous, I guess you could say. But yeah, there are little caves. I have found some caves. There's one not too far that way. It's not a big cave. It's more just like a shelter cave, you'd call it. But it's like a big rock that fell over, and you can kind of go under. But it could be used for shelter though. Even today or in the past by a Native American hunter that was going through the area. So that's what the focus of this new series I want to work on is going to be. Like I said, I might wait till maybe even till October to really start working on it. We'll see. Let's see how the weather goes. But I want to explore all of it, both ways, as much as I can. Head down on one side, come back the other side, just look in all the nooks and crannies. Wouldn't it be amazing to find a spot where it looked like some stones or like some rocks are piled up to cover an opening, and he pulled some of the stones away and shined a flashlight in there, and there was an ancient Indian burial site inside there with a skeleton and all kinds of artifacts and stuff. That would be amazing. Realistically, that probably won't happen, but you never know. Like in some of these, this area has received a lot of human attention. Like I said, even that way. This place has been logged over several times. There's been a lot of coal mining along this area on both sides, but mostly on this side. So I'm sure people have been all over these rocks, is what I'm trying to say. But how much did they really explore them? In some ways, in detail. So it's about just taking my time and probing around as best I can. I'm not a big fan of heights, and climbing up on some of these rocks is kind of sketchy for me, but we'll see. Like I said, this section here looks easy because it's all open and bare, but like I said, it gets a little bit more difficult out that way. But yeah, who knows? Who knows what we could find? And I'll point out too that this is not a man-made feature. When you look at it on the other side, it almost has that look to it. That's why it's called the Chinese Wall sometimes. And there are folks that come out here and think that it is man-made, built by giants in the ancient past. It's an intriguing thought, but that's not what these rocks are. These are natural rocks. It's called conglomerate. Let me show you what conglomerate rock looks like. Yeah, most of these rocks here, this is what they look like. It's almost like cement filled with these little quartz pebbles. It is like concrete almost. It's like a natural form of concrete. That's what most of all these rocks are. They're called conglomerate. These rounded quartz pebbles embedded within this concrete-like matrix, I guess you could call it almost. But it is a natural feature though. See, there's another perspective of the whalehead. I'm trying to get to the other side. Kind of thought there was a easier way down. But looking this way, you can get a better idea of how the rocks continue this way. See, they get high again up that way. So you can see how it's just amazing how they, anyway. I'm not gonna get down, I probably could get down over there, but I thought there was a way over here. Back where we were. I thought it was right here. It feels like things have changed a little bit. It's quite a drop there. Well, I made it down this way anyway. We were just standing up there looking down. But I feel like this has changed. There are some nice footholds here, but I feel like there was more here in the past, but maybe I'm wrong. We're going to take a look at the other side of these rocks, the tall side. It's impressive. People come here to rock climb, even like I think the Army National Guard people come here to rock climb. But yeah, let me turn you around a moment here. Yeah, this is what they look like from this side. Wow, that's tall. So, thus the name, High Rocks. There's our whalehead way up there again. But that's where it gets the idea of the box cars too. It looks like there's individual, box cars, like a train, stacked on top of each other. It's also why some people think it's a man-made wall. It almost has that look to it. So amazing. If you look closely, you can see those little, what do they call them? Little hold points that the rock climbers put into the. I'll try and look for one later. There's like a little cave right there. Yeah, but if you look closely, once again you can see all the little quartz pebbles in there that make up this rock, the conglomerate. There's a good example right there. Let me zoom in on that. Look at all of them in there. There's some areas that don't have as much, like over here, but it is all conglomerate rock. I'm trying to look for one of those little hold points. I know they're here somewhere. Well, I'm not seeing any at the moment. Maybe they took them out. I'm not sure if that's something they do or not, but wow. These are impressive. So yeah, you can see why the Native Americans would find this area to be super attractive. I mean, there's just some tall rocks. So I don't know. Who knows what we'll find? It's just been brewing in my head, even over the years. I've been here before in some of the other videos, but I think one time, the last time I came out here with the intent of exploring, it was a hot day and it just didn't work out. It gets really rough traveling along the edges here. Like I said, right here it's kind of people-ized and kind of nice, but further on it just gets really difficult. Something to do on a colder day. So maybe have someone else with too. We'll see how that works out. But yeah. If you don't go out and look and search, you never will find anything. I mean, even if you do search, you may not, but if you don't, you're guaranteed not to find anything. So, but who knows? Like I said, that I dream about that idea sometimes of, like I said, pulling a rock away and finding a hidden cavity that no one's been in for like 1,000 years. That would be amazing. But unfortunately, with being a popular spot, it does get a lot of wrong attention to it. There's some graffiti there, but not as much as there used to be here. There's a bunch of broken glass down here, some other trash. One of these, yeah, more trash there. One of these days, let's just come out here and pick all this trash up too. Maybe I'll do that while I'm exploring. I know, probably not while I'm exploring, because you don't want to be carrying a bag of trash around you with you when you're exploring. Because there probably won't be much trash other places in here where this popular area is, but that is a thought too, just to come up here one day and pick up all the trash. Not prepared for it today, but because I think people come up here on a regular basis and do that anyway. Because, like I said, a lot of the graffiti has been cleaned off. It looks a lot better than it used to up here. Make our way back. We gotta climb up that section yet. See, even here, it almost looks like stacked stone. It has that look to it, like a man-made. I mean, it does quite a bit, but it's not. It's just the way it is. Even up to where we're headed here. Yeah, it just looks, has a look to it. Alright, we gotta get back up there again. But you can let me know down below in the comments what you think of me doing a series on the Boxcar Rocks where I explore it, look for things like that. And also, if you have your own stories or your own knowledge of some history of the Boxcar Rocks that you want to share in the comments below, that would be great. Or if you know of some locations you want to share that might be of interest, go ahead. I realize sometimes people don't like to share that, but if you want to share, if you know a spot back here somewhere along the chain of rocks that might be interesting or a little, anyway, cool for a video or for us to explore, by all means let me know. But I respect that if you don't want to either. But anyway, I think regardless of what people think, I'm going to make a series on this. It's been brewing in my mind for a while. But like I said, I'm not going to do it. Like we're still mid-August, not the best time to do that kind of exploring, so I'll have to wait for a little bit. But we'll say farewell to the Whalehead and the Boxcar Rocks for now. So maybe come some point in September or maybe even into October, we'll come back here and start that exploration. But of course, if we did find something super cool like an ancient burial chamber, I would film it, but I would have to let the authorities know as well. That would be the best thing to do, so the stuff in there gets preserved. But yeah, make a great video too. Be a thrill. Anyway, who knows? Like I said, who knows? You won't know unless you actually look. You're probably not the first person to go looking either. Alright, but I think that'll be it for this video, folks. I'll continue to dream in my mind of exploring and what we'll find up in those rocks. It's always good to dream. Alright, I think I'm gonna head somewhere else to film today yet. It's a beautiful day to be doing this. Like I said, it might not even get up into the 80s today. It's amazing for August. Alright, as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.